Hello and welcome. Today I'd like to show off this 6x6x15 red mushroom stem farm that I've designed. It's relatively cheap and inexpensive with just a couple of observers, some sticky pistons, and some hopper minecarts, and produces pretty good rates for the size and the build effort. This design here is a bit prohibitive to build in survival considering all the white glass and concrete. So today I'll be showing off how to build this design here, which uses a lot less expensive materials and would be easier to build in a survival context. Here are the materials you'll need for the build. Up here we have all the stuff you'll need for the main bulk of the build. Down here are the minecarts. You'll need at least 3 rails to properly align the minecarts for later. You'll also need around a stack of your red mushrooms. That can be put in your offhand, that's what you'll use to place inside the machine. You'll need another about a half stack of items to clog up the rest of your inventory. That way, when the mushrooms are dispensed, they don't go into a slot that isn't your main mushroom slot. And you'll also need a efficiency 5 axe of gold or higher, otherwise you won't be able to break the stems fast enough. And here are the rates, with about 1 stack of bone meal corresponding to 1 stack of stem blocks, and this is over the course of 5 20-minute averages. With that, we'll start with the block by block. Every now and again I'll pop in the voiceover to explain certain design details or building tricks. Make sure these hoppers don't connect to the previously placed hoppers. We're going to use a trick to put a hopper minecart inside of a block. Use a piston to push a block in from above. Now the hopper minecart is stuck in the block. The hopper minecart is still able to collect and pull from other hoppers above it, even though it is fully encased in a block. We'll do the same trick again for this other hopper minecart. This design uses QC to detect when the mushroom has been placed, and also when a mushroom has been grown. By powering a piston from 1 block above, the piston thinks that it's powered, but hasn't been updated. This allows a block update, such as the mushroom being placed, or grown, to cause the piston to extend or retract. Here we will again place a hopper minecart in blocks, except this time we will use 3 rails, and place the minecart on the middle rail. With the minecart in this orientation, its hitbox is able to cover 4 blocks, which allows it to maximize its collection area while still being able to pass its items into the hopper placed before. The various buttons in the farm's design allow for manual activation of the bud switches, which allows for troubleshooting if something is to go wrong. Once you've placed down this observer to finish the observer clock, it's best to go down and flick this lever to turn off the noise. The reason that the farm is so filled in is to prevent the generation of red mushroom blocks. If red mushroom blocks were to generate in places that were undesired while the farm is operating, it could potentially lead to the farm breaking. After breaking the dirt block above the observer, the piston should extend, which will give you a platform to use for the next layer. Here there is an error in the build along. The observer should be facing the other way to prevent the redstone from connecting to the piston and powering it when not desired. once you place this piston above you, you can just break through this wall to return to the top. By placing this final repeater, you'll be activating the piston system below. Be sure to cycle back to the third tick, as this will set up the pistons in a way that is easier to correct later. Once you've finished building, you may find some of the pistons for the main conveyor inside the growth chamber. To fix this, come down to this repeater. Every time you change the state of this repeater, you toggle the state of the piston. Because both have even parity, you have to do a quick double click for one of these tick changes, faster than the observer can notice. This will fix the parity and correct the mistake. To operate the farm, all you need to do is fill this dispenser with mushrooms, fill this chest with bone meal, put mushrooms into your offhand, have the axe in your main hand, fill the remainder of your inventory with a block of your choice to prevent mushrooms from going into the wrong slot, flick this lever to turn the farm on, and finally aim just below this obsidian and hold down both left and right click. The farm is now fully functional, and all you need to do is to keep those two buttons held. I'd recommend using the F3+T glitch, as this retains your inputs without having to physically hold down the buttons. Some concluding marks about the build is this one bug that's kind of been happening where the items that when they get mined, like when the blocks break, the items from the farm will sometimes get elevated up to this top level here. This is just when a fully grown mushroom, like to this top block here, is generated while there are items still falling from the previous mushroom, which just causes them to rocket up to the top here and aren't collected by the farm's collection system. They don't account for very much, and they'll eventually despawn, but it's not that huge of a loss, and it's not really going to affect the rates of this farm at all. If there is a way to prevent this, I'd love to know. If anybody wants to reach out, I'd be glad and happy to hear them out. But anyways, thanks for watching, and take it easy.